one of the things that I misspoke on several times, we're not providing recreation. That's not our job. That's not what we do. We don't provide recreation areas. We don't provide, areas to fish or hunt or whatever. But what we're trying to do is restore the resource. The resource is the water. We're restoring the resource so that people can recreate it. Because we feel that that properly restored resource is what we have to do. The resource is the water. And let me give you an example, at least the way I think of it. In regards to Basin Creek. In 1893, when they built that dam for mining, they stopped all the water from flowing through that Basin Creek stream. And ever since 1893, in the summer months, Basin Creek is dry. We take all of our water, drinking water, and we put it in a pipe. And there's essentially no water going down Basin Creek. And there just is, it hasn't been that way. We have not operated this system as a resource. We've operated it as a water system. We've drained the reservoirs in the past. We've never operated it in the way that it benefits wildlife and the resource. We're going to change all that. What we're planning to do is we'll operate these dams to hold water back so that it can be released at the time of the year when it's needed. Now, what we plan on doing, if we're going to work with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks and everyone else, if it's decided that Basin Creek itself, the creek below the reservoir, needs water in it year-round, we'll provide water year-round. We'll measure the flow, we'll make sure that that water is there. We can provide, with our water rights, 2 million gallons a day every day. I don't know if that's the right number. Maybe it's 1 million, maybe it's more. Maybe in the summer we need to put 5 million into that stream. Don't know. But what we're going to do is restore the resource so that it can be used by people. It's going to improve the aquifer. It's going to improve the aquatic resources. And it'll restore the resource. What we plan on doing. We're asking for a huge amount of money. I can't even understand this amount of money, personally. But when we put the numbers together, this is what it tells us we need. Our grant applications will be made to NRD for $75 million. We realize that there's not one pot of money that has that much money, so we think it's going to have to come from several pots of money. We want to work with the staff. We want to work with the advisory committee, trustee council, the governor, the public, whoever will work with us to try to make this happen. We don't want to take all the money out of one pot and leave nothing in there. That's not what our aim is. We want to restore the resource. So again, I'll mention it'll be the first time that all water users will have treated water. The second benefit will be a regulated and controlled release of fresh water from Basin Creek reservoirs into the Clark Fork River via Basin and Blacktail Creek and Silverbow Creek. We believe that this will enhance the aquatic habitat. We want to support diversity and sustainable life in the Clark Fork Basin. That's what we want to do with Basin Creek. The third benefit will be the potential of improved recreation opportunities. We're going to, again, enhance the resource and make that available. We hope it happens, but it's going to be really up to other people. Okay, we have some other benefits, and this talks mainly about the Silver Lake system. A regulated and controlled release of fresh water from Storm Lake, Silver Lake, and Twin Lakes into the Warm Springs drainage and the Clark Fork River. One thing I probably mentioned is before the Anaconda Company put all this into play, I'd be willing to bet that every few years the area where Anaconda is probably was underwater. During high water years, this thing will produce an unbelievable amount of water, the Silver Lake system. But when the Anaconda Company went in and started regulating it with their dams, they controlled the water. We want to continue to do that. We don't want anybody to flood out. But what we want to be able to do is control that water and release it at appropriate times to enhance the watershed. So we think that significant in-stream flow augmentation will dramatically enhance the aquatic habitat, using the existing reservoirs to support diversity and sustainability of life in the Clark Fork Basin. And bull trout is one of our major focuses. The second benefit will be the potential of improved and enhanced recreational opportunities for the Silver Lake watershed. We've already checked on this, and by using Silver Lake for a domestic water use, it will not preclude any of the uses of that water for recreation, because we're going to be treating that water, so people will still have access to everything. With this program, we'll be able to provide, on average, 11 million gallons of fresh, cold, clean water in the Upper Clark Fork Basin every day. Okay, so a summary. Butte Silver Bowl will need to secure about $55 million from NRD programs on our domestic side, 55 for domestic, about 20 for Silver Lake. We're going to finish the Big Hole transmission line. We're going to construct a new treatment plant at the south end of Tiffin. We're going to connect this treatment plant with the Big Hole transmission line, and then a new storage tank on the south end of town. In exchange, Butte Silver Bowl will relinquish the watershed protection status on Basin Creek for recreational opportunities, and we'll release Basin Creek water into Silver Bowl Creek at approximately 2 to 3 million gallons a day, as requested by the people who study this and know how much water needs to be in that spring. Butte Silver Bowl will need about $20 million from the aquatics and terrestrial programs. Maybe it's some other program. It'll be up to the NRD to decide that. We'll replace the Myers Diversion Dam, Twin Lakes Diversion Dam, Storm Lakes Creek Diversion Dams. We'll upgrade the Twin Lakes Creek Supply Channel and the Storm Lake Supply Channel. We'll upgrade the east and west dams at Silver Lake. Install a gravity outlet at Silver Lake so we won't have to be turning those pumps on all the time, using up power. We're going to construct a variety of fish ladders, screens, barriers, and infrastructure to enhance and promote the proliferation of West Slope cutthroat and bull trout. And in exchange, Butte Silver Bowl will release our allocation of Silver Lake water, about 10,000 acre-feet, to Warm Springs Creek and the Clark Fork River. Okay. Just to discuss the future, some of the things that have been told to us over the past couple of years when we've sought NRD grants, everyone says, well, what's Butte Silver Bowl doing? What are the ratepayers doing? The ratepayers have put in a significant amount of money over the years to build this system. I believe it's something around $50 million. So we've contributed. We still have to repair about 500,000 feet of distribution line on the flats. That distribution line is getting fairly old. In a few years, our current revenue bonds that we've been paying for our original water treatment plants will be paid off, and we'll probably reissue those bonds so that we can fix the distribution system on the flat. We're not asking for any NRD money for that. I just want to make it clear that the NRD money isn't paying for everything. The Butte ratepayers are going to pay for, we've already paid a considerable amount, and we're going to pay in the future. We are holding up our fair share, but it's impossible for the ratepayers to make this system work. We really do need help on this. And we think that option D is a large step in the right direction, but much more